Hello, my little crafty monsters. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So, in today's fabulous tutorial, we are going to do a Halloween decor. And I would like to say that the main part of our decor came from the Dollar Tree. And you guys are going to be like amazed on how this is going to come out. So, let me go ahead and show you guys what we are going to be making. We're going to be making these little centerpieces. Well, they're not really like a centerpiece. They're more like a side piece to a centerpiece. So this is what we're making today. We went ahead and we picked up these flower picks from Z Michaels. And I believe that the roses and that little skull, those ones actually came from the Dollar Tree. The skulls came from the Dollar Tree. And then these little glasses, if they're like wine glasses or champagne glasses, I don't know what kind of glasses they are. But we're going to go ahead and use these. And then inside there, we put a little spider. Can you guys see the spiders? So the spider is from Z Dollar Tree. And we went ahead and we put like some cute little decor paper and a little bow and all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to make these little bad boys. It is super duper 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 easy. And you guys are going to just be like, oh wow. Guys, seriously, it came out really, really cute. I think they came out cute. So anywho, you guys are going to like, these are not even tipping over really, honestly. But I do feel that it could use a little bit more. There's still some of that little glue hair because from the hot glue. So anyway, so I think that they could get a little bit more heavier. So they sell like these little circle, they're just regular white or like the natural color wood in their circle little plaques. You guys could go ahead and use that and glue that to the bottom of this just to give it a little bit of more weight. But honestly, to tell you the truth, the way that these are right now, like they're not even tipping over or nothing like that. Now, if you were to like push the table or something, they might tip over, but it's all plastic and they're super duper duper light. So I don't really feel like you guys will have that much of a problem. But just so you guys could be secure, you guys could use that. Or you're going to notice in the beginning and in the end of our video when I show you guys the little beginning part, the intro part, and you see the video of the project, well, they were standing on this when I took the pictures and when I did the beginning of the video. So they were standing on these. And so I put these on there because when I do the videos in the beginning, you guys could already know that I put like fabric. And so I put them on top of this so that they wouldn't be sitting on the fabric and you were able to see all of this. But then I started thinking, I'm like, well, what if you get these? These are the bottom saucers for the little plastic pots at Home Depot and Walmart. So I bought these little ones because this is where I put in like a bunch of my like little cutouts and whatever's left over from like projects and stuff. And sometimes I just go in there and I use them. So I thought, all right, so what if we get some of these and we just glue this on here? Kind of gives it a little bit more weight and also kind of like a little, sort of like a little stand or something like that. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that, I'm going to actually do that. These little pot saucers are from Home Depot and Z Walmart. So anyway, guys, let's not waste any more time because I know you guys want to get down to dirty, boo-boos. So let's get down to dirty and I will see you guys in a bit. Hola, hola, my little crafty monsters. So let's get down and dirty and make these little bad boys right here. We are going to be using skulls from Z Dollar Tree and also those plastic wine glasses from Z Dollar Tree. Now, one of those picks, the flower picks, I did pick it up from Z Dollar Tree, but the other ones, the ones with the pumpkins, those ones actually came from Michael's. And so right here, we're just going to go ahead and prepare our little hot glue gun because we are going to be using that little bad boy to put these little guys together. We're going to go ahead and start off by peeling off the price tag from the very bottom. Now, some of these tags are really, really hard, and I didn't want to add any of that like Goo Gone or anything like that because I didn't know how that was going to react with the actual glue that we were going to use because since it's kind of oily, so I didn't know if it was going to hold on to that plastic. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to go ahead and measure like a base for the bottom of those wine glasses. And I'm just picking up like a little scallop die that will be perfect size for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer that with a bigger size. Right now, I just kind of didn't even focus on that, but we will be layering it in a little bit later on our video. So we are going to be cutting that out of a metallic purple and a metallic burnt orange. Now these are optional. You guys could go ahead and cut them out to whatever color cardstock you guys want, or if you guys have different scallop circles, definitely use those as well. I'm going to make this pretty thick paper, so what I'm doing is I'm using 110-pound black cardstock. And then these are regular 65-pound metallic cardstocks. Also, all the cardstocks that I'm using, they're from Michaels. So you guys could go ahead and pick that up. They're the Recollections line of cardstocks. So now we're just going to go ahead and pull out our little Sizzix die and just run that through. I'm going to cut these twice because we're making 2 of those little side centerpieces, whatever you guys want to call them. I don't know. I'm going to put one on one side of the coffee table, and then on the other coffee table, I'm going to put the other one. So, you know, it's going to look very, very cute. I will definitely try to do a video of my house decorated. I'm actually going to start decorating my house now because I said, you know, Halloween is everywhere already, like at all stores that you go to, so why not at my house too? Anyway, so we're in the middle of a pandemic, not the middle, but towards the end of it, and why not? Everything's already screwed up, so why not start Halloween in September, right? So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So anyway, now that we have everything cut out, we're going to go ahead and glue these. And because the paper is going to kind of warp because of as much glue as I'm going to be using right here, I'm going to go ahead and set these little scallop circles in between a pile of cardstocks just to keep these flat and so that they, you know, don't look really warped. Because when you wet that little metallic paper, it will kind of like warp a little bit. I don't know if you guys have used that one, but if you have, you guys will notice that's what happens. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and glue them. And then once I glue them, I'm going to go ahead and just stack them in between a pile of papers. And that will hold them, that will, like, you know, keep them nice and straight. So now I'm going to go ahead and just start to put my little skulls into these little plastics, but we have to go ahead and cut the little hole. So I'm not actually cutting an actual hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and measure these, and I'm going to go ahead and cut an X. And I'm going to go ahead and ink that little part so that when I put this on there, it's going to kind of leave a mark onto the skull where I want to put that little X at. That little X that we're going to cut out, it's just so that it keeps that plastic pretty tight in there. Because if you were to just do a regular circle, then you're going to have something holding that skull down. But if you just cut an X and then kind of like squeeze that in there, it actually stays pretty firm. And then when you add the glue, well, it's just, you know, it's just going to make it a lot more firm and a lot more secure. So that's what we're going to do right here. And so the weight of the actual skull will also hold it down. We're going to also cut a little X on the very top of the skull where we are going to be putting in the little flowers. And again, we are just cutting an X. We're not going to cut a circle or nothing like that because of the simple fact that we're not actually going to put like foam or nothing in there. And if you're not going to be putting foam in there, then you want this to be pretty secure and pretty tight in there when you're putting in your floral arrangements. We are going to be using some hot glue gun, so don't worry about that. That is definitely going to go in there, so that's going to actually secure it a little bit even more. Right here, we're just going to go ahead and get some of our Galaxy glitter. This is my favorite glitter because it's like dark purples and like blacks and stuff like that, and so it basically looks really, really, really nice. And we're going to go ahead and cover the eyes socket and also the nose. And we're going to go ahead and put the little glitter, the little Galaxy glitter. Now, I know it looks a little bit bright right here, guys, because of the way the light is shining on it. But I can assure you guys that it is more darker glitter than light. And it just has all these Galaxy colors, which I love them. They're super, super, super nice. And so I'm just using regular the regular Eileen's quick dry glue. I'm just putting it in a little dot in there and I'm spreading it with my fingers. And then we're gonna go ahead and just add some of that glitter, and that's gonna hold enough because you're not really touching that little eye part too much, so you don't have to really worry that the glitter is gonna be coming off of that. And even if it does come off of that, guys, I mean, all you have to do is add a little bit more glue and then a little bit of glitter. And so I'm using a makeup brush. I use this makeup brush usually to take off some of the excess little glitter that sticks onto the actual plastic. And so those always really come in handy. So if you ever go to the Dollar Tree or to the 99.999 store, definitely pick up one of these little makeup brushes and have that handy, so whenever you have to wipe down some of the glitter off of any project that you guys are using. I actually use that also on paper. So once we have all these little guys glued, because we're not really going to be touching that surface area, we could go ahead and start kind of like putting them together, well, at least putting the base of the actual, what is it called, the little wine glass. We can go ahead and put that down so that we can basically start to let that dry, because that will take a little bit longer to dry since it is E6000. So I'm putting a big glob in that little X part, and then once we shove in this little plastic, that's just really going to hold it into place. The weight of the actual skull is going to hold that down too. So you want to go ahead and just put that glue in there, put the little plastic base in there, and then just setting those aside, and at least allowing those to cure for at least like 20 to 30 minutes. Right here I had them upside down, but trust me, that didn't work, because since there was no weight on that actual little plastic base, the wine glass, it was actually pushing out. So you want to have them standing up so that the weight of the skull is actually going to hold it down. So I'm just putting those aside while I go ahead and start working on the scallops and stuff. So I'm going to use another one of these little wine glasses just to be like my little model, so that I know what I could actually put in there. I wanted to do kind of like a little cemetery kind of effect in there, but some of the things that I had were a little bit too big. And so I have these little glitter spiders, and I didn't know that these glitter spiders that I got from the Dollar Tree, I didn't know they came in 3 different sizes, but they do. So there is there's 2 small ones, and these small ones actually fit perfect inside that little scallop circle. So we're going to have that wine glass over this little spider so that it basically looks like it's kind of in a little glass container, kind of like when you have, when you see like little insects and stuff like that in Halloween decorations. So this is kind of what I thought in my head. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and use some hot glue, since this is going to be paper that we're sticking this onto. So I just wanted to go ahead and look and see which are the legs that are actually touching the scallop, because not all the legs are going to be touching. So you kind of want to turn it around and look and see which ones are actually touching, and those are the ones that you're going to add the glue to. Those are going to be enough dots to hold this little decoration down, because like I said, that spider is on paper, and whenever you use hot glue on paper, it's actually pretty sturdy. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And so after these are a little bit dry, so see, these are the little what is it, the cemetery little kit that I was going to use in there, but I don't know, for some reason I just thought, well, the spider would look a little bit more, nicer. Now from here on, you guys, it's going to be really hard for you guys to see because the camera is looking down and my vision is looking to the side of this, but we are going to go ahead and start cutting out our little floral stuff that we're going to be using into every skull. And I'm kind of doing like 2 leafy branches per skull, and then maybe like a different kind of like material, like that little mesh kind of leaf that you see right there. And then I'm going to add one of these little picks per skull, and then I'm going to add 2 black roses per skull as well, and one of those little silver skulls. Now that pick that you see me doing right now with the silver skulls, that did come from the Dollar Tree, and I purchased this probably, I want to say, about like 2 years ago, because it was way before the pandemic, boo-boo. So yeah, it was about 2 years ago. And I'm pretty sure they have different like Halloween flower picks, so you can go ahead and check out your little Dollar Tree and see what they have and use whatever they have, because You know, it doesn't have to be exactly identical as this one, but I just try to give you guys ideas so that you guys could go ahead and just venture off in your own imagination. And so right here, this is why I told you I didn't want to do a hoe, because the hoe would have been a little bit too big. And I feel like this way that you know, X opening will be tight enough to where you could just squeeze the little flower picks in there and then add a little bit of hot glue. Now you don't really have to worry too much about, you know, it showing, because you're adding so much floral picks in there that it's not really going to show. But here you see me adding that hot glue. Also for two purposes. It's just basically to secure the flower from not coming out. And then second, it's also securing where you want that flower to be positioned. And so this way, like I said, you don't really have to worry too much about that hole being covered, because the floral picks are actually going to do that job for you. Whereas if you would have opened that up into a hole, you probably would have had to figure out what you were going to use in there in order to fill it up so you don't see that. And since I've been wanting to use my red feathers, I decided that in this one is where I'm going to use them, because I felt that those red feathers on this project were just going to make that pop. It was just to give it that little pop of color, guys. Trust me, it looks really nice in person. So I'm just adding some glue, just adding my little floral picks. You guys are going to do the same thing, but just whatever floral pick you guys choose. And then right here, I'm just adding my little roses in here. This is the part where I told you guys I'm so sorry, but you know, the camera looks down onto my projects because usually I'm doing paper crafts. But whenever I do yourself crafts like this, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit hard. Now, I do lay down the projects once in a while just to kind of show you guys that, you know, from the frontal vision of it, or whatever you call that. But I try to do that so that you can see the project on all angles. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and kind of like lay it down and show you guys how it is. See, really fast, guys. Pay attention, because if you don't pay attention, you'll miss something. So anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue these little bad boys onto the bases. Now, I did say in the very beginning that there are some little pot saucers that I want to go ahead and go to Home Depot and purchase, because when I actually was taking the video of this for the beginning of the intro of this video, I did lay them on top of those pots, and I kind of actually liked how they look. So I'm definitely going to go and pick some up to glue the bases on there. It's going to work for two purposes. One, to make it look like it's on a stand. Second, it's going to give it a little bit more weight. Again, not that it really needs a lot of weight, because these little projects are super duper light, but I just want to secure them. Right here, I'm using that little model wine glass, and I'm wrapping some of this little purple tint, kind of like, what is it, garland or something? It's actually from Christmas, but since it's purple and it's a Halloween color, I figured, hey, it'll go with it. So I'm just wrapping that around our little model wine glass so that I can go ahead and do that around that little area where that base is attached to the actual skull. So we're just putting one end of it, we're gluing it, letting it dry off, and then we're just going to go ahead and wind it once it's already dried, once that glue cools off, because I don't really want to wind it right now, because in all reality you don't have to glue the other part down. This has a wire in there, so when you kind of turn it around the whole entire little base of that of the wine glass, then it's just going to stay there. You guys will see right now. So what we are going to do next is we're going to go ahead and cut out another one of those larger scallops, because like I said, we were going to layer those. The only thing is that I completely forgot. So now we're going to go ahead and run this through the 110-pound cardstock, because that's going to be the bottom part of the base. And then we're going to go ahead and run a burnt orange or orangey-ish kind of color that we're going to go ahead and glue on the top. It's basically the same step that we did on the first scallop. This is just going to be the bigger scallop, and this is going to be glued underneath that base, just to give it a little bit more weight, and also to give it that little extra kind of pop to this project that it needs. And so right here, we're just going to go ahead and do the orange. So I do believe this is orange, right? I do believe it is. It's like a burnt orange. Yeah, we're going to just go with that, guys, because even if it isn't, it was kind of like a Halloween-y color. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 scallops of those because we do need to have 2 bases. And then once we run this through this little Sizzix machine, we're going to go ahead and glue these little bad boys onto those black ones that we did. And that's just going to make that little scallop a little bit thicker and a little bit more, you know, sturdier, so that it doesn't really fall apart during the process of when you put these away for the following year. I want these to kind of last for a while, so that's why I'm kind of doing these. And then once you put that little black base, that little pot saucer that I told you guys to put, and then that's actually going to hold this down too as well. So right here I'm adding a lot of glue because I want it to really stick on here. And so now we're just going to go ahead and put that between some stacks of paper like we did the first one, and then that's going to keep them pretty straight, and it's going to make sure that they're flat as can be. And then right here we're going to go ahead and just start wrapping that little tinsel that we put on the very edge of our little base and the little skulls, because what we're doing basically is we're hiding that little what is it called? We're hiding that little glue part, so that's where we're just winding that right here around it, and that's just also giving it a little color right there, so that if you're looking at it through the back or through the front, you know, it's something. And that little spider, I just went ahead and glued that on the very front to make it look like if it was kind of a choker, and that's kind of the little spider's the charm on the choker, which I don't know, I just thought it was cute. So right here we're just gonna go ahead and just glue that with some hot glue, and you can kind of see a little bit that little layering effect that we're doing with this scallops, and I really love how those colors actually came out. So that's like super duper excited about this. I can't wait to put these on my little coffee tables because I think that they're just going to be so cute. The only thing is I'm a little bit worried because some of Monkey's toys, you know, cat toys, come with feathers, and he always grabs my feather duster and he runs off with it. So I'm kind of scared that he's going to kind of play with these feathers on these little decorations, but we'll see. And so right here I'm going to put a little bit of bling ribbon that's going to go around the base of that little wine glass where the wine glass meets the paper scallops. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm also trying to hide some of that glue that is gluing the paper and the actual plastic wine glass together. And so right here I like to clean up the little edges, because if you guys have ever dealt with this little bling ribbon, you guys will know that when you cut a strip like this, it always has those little, I call them little legs. So it has all the little legs like a little centipede. And so right here I want to just go ahead and cut those off, because we want these to be as neat as possible. We don't want all of that to show, because trust me guys, sometimes in some projects it does show. Now if these were going on something black, then I really wouldn't worry too much about it. But since this is going on to a different color, it is going to show. So I would definitely clean them up, but then this is just my preference. You guys could go ahead and skip this part right here and just put them on messy. I'm teasing you guys, I'm teasing you. You guys could definitely do skip this part. But anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue to clean these little bad boys up. And then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and attach them on there. Now, these little skulls that I found from the Dollar Tree, I don't remember them actually carrying these last year, but they have quite a few at the Dollar Trees that I've been to, and I've been to about 3 of them around my area. So I'm really excited. I actually bought about 20 of them because I want to put them around the house. They're pretty light in weight, and they're actually plastic and they're hollow. So you can use them for so many different projects as well, guys. I mean, it doesn't necessarily just have to be kind of something like this. I mean, you could definitely do so many different projects. I'm actually going to try to think of some other things to use the other skulls in there, and I might even just go and buy some more. So right here I'm not really going to glue the whole entire thing together. I'm just going to spot little spots of glue here and there just to hold that bling ribbon together, because what I also want to prevent is I also want to prevent you to have the big old globs of like that hot glue on there as well. So by eliminating that, I mean by putting little dots here and there, you're going to go ahead and eliminate the look of that whole entire glob of hot glue, because you know sometimes that could be a little bit messy if you're not really too careful. So I'm sorry that you guys can't see it like this, but you guys will definitely see it in the beginning intro of the video and also in the end intro of the video. I did show it a little bit right there, but you know, you guys, it's pretty fast
this is a hyperlapse video right here, so it kind of goes pretty quick. I really kind of like how that little accent kind of basically gave this. I'm gonna actually put a bow. I was thinking of putting like a paper bow, but you guys are going to see that I kind of like put the paper bow on here and I didn't really like how it looked. So what I started to do was I just thought, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna do a bow out of a ribbon since we have our 10-second bow maker, and we're just gonna do a little double loop bow. And then I wanted to put a little bling in the middle, and so I thought, hey, I have some black bling hearts that I think are gonna go perfect. So these are my little paper, this is my little tray of stuff that I have. As I make it, I throw it in that tray. I have different trays, one for Christmas, one for Valentine's, one for Halloween. Whew, boo-boo, I have so many different ones. What else am I missing? I'm missing something else. I know I am. I feel like I'm missing a holiday. But anyway, so right here you're going to see me make my little ribbon bow out of this cute little skull ribbon that I had picked up at the little hole in the wall in downtown LA where I live, boo-boo. And so right here I'm just going to go ahead and use my 10-second bow maker. And I'm just going to be honest with you, this bow maker is amazing. Like, it is super amazing. This is like my BFFF when it comes to making bows. But I will tell you something right now, boo-boo. It takes a little longer than 10 seconds for me sometimes. So I'm going to just call it the 20-second bow maker because I need those extra 10 seconds for me to figure out which way I need to turn and all this stuff. But I always remember in my head, right over left. But sometimes I mess up. Anyway, so right here I'm just going to go ahead and cut those little fish tails, but I'm leaving like a good enough amount of tail. And since I did a double loop bow right here, I'm just kind of like fixing those up. You just want to kind of fix those up if you're going to do double loops on these. If not, you could just do a single one. I just wanted to be a little extra because you know me. And so this is the part where I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the bow onto the paper because it's going onto paper. But you will notice that in order to glue on the little gem, I'm using E6000. Ooh, excuse me about that. I don't know, a yawn just came out right now. But anyway, I'm going to be using an E6000 glue in order to attach that gem onto the actual fabric bow. Yeah, I couldn't say it for some reason. This is my little gem picker-upper. We're going to go ahead and get our E6000 glue. I'm going to go ahead and put a little glob on each one of those little bows. And then I'm going to put that little black gem heart in the very center of that bow to kind of give it kind of like a little something something. And that E6000 will hold on to that little gem onto that fabric. If I would have used a regular hot glue, the hot glue would have eventually, that little plastic gem would have eventually just slipped off of that hot glue. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And this is it, guys. We are completely done with these little bad boys.
Welcome back, my little crafty monsters. That's how easy it was to make these little bad boys right here. So like everything we used on here was from the Dollar Tree. Well, the majority of the stuff. These flower picks, I already had these ones from Michael's, and that was already a few years ago. These roses and that little skull right here, that did come from the Dollar Tree. But I also purchased these, I want to say about 2 years ago. Has it been 2 years? Yeah, it's been 2 years, guys, because it was way before this pandemic stuff. So anyway, I had purchased those. And then the skull is from the Dollar Tree. And so is this little, I don't want to call it a wine glass because I guess it is a wine glass. So a little wine glass right here. The spider inside there, that's from the Dollar Tree. And then we just used some cardstock that we already had and some die cuts. And bam, boo, boo, we made these. I hope that inspires you guys to make some of these. And if you do make some, definitely share with us on our Instagram and Instagram and Facebook, Paper to Masterpiece. And guys, seriously, like, I want to see these little creations you guys do. So anyway, that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. Oh wait, don't forget, if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that little icon and subscribe, guys, because we become BFFFs. And also share and tell a friend, because your friends also need to know how fabulous these tutorials are. And that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. Until next time, goodbye.